It's wonderful to be back with you once again, isn't it, Ronnie?
Indeed it is. And in a packed programme tonight, we shall be meeting with the Irish shoplifter who specialises in stealing free samples.
And in our new natural history feature, we'll be having a look at amazing wildlife footage of Italian birds surrendering to a worm.
But first, the news. American singing star Dolly Parton was tonight reported to have found the favourite guitar she lost 20 years ago. It was up her jumper.
Whilst the Thundersley man, who crossed a Swiss cheese plant, a breadfruit plant, and an India rubber tree, today had his first crop of British rail sandwiches.
News tonight, too, that an Irish scientist has crossed a homing pigeon with a parrot and got a bird that keeps landing and asking the way.
The man found lying in a Soho gutter last night, wearing a latex wetsuit, Wellingtons, and a rubber gas mask, was today found not guilty of being drunk, but fined £20 for having less than the required depth of tread.
And the Dorsetshire farmer, whose chicken laid a £28 egg, held a champagne supper last night. The chicken didn't attend, as it was still suffering from shell shock.
And during redecoration at Brentford Public Library today, high jumper Farrington Bland accidentally sat on a blow lamp and leapt straight into the record books.
London's Heathrow, Senior Customs Officer Cephas Mumby retired today. He shook hands with passengers passing through the customs and confiscated a gold watch for himself.
And now a sketch set on the Costa Smeralda, the Aga Khan's private resort, which is so exclusive that yesterday the tide went out and they wouldn't let it back in.
Come in.
Is this the Arnold Murray School of Dancing?
That's right, yes. Mr. Dribble?
Tibble.
Oh, Tibble, yes.
I expected a much sort of bigger place.
Ah, you're thinking of the Arthur Murray School of Dancing. This is the Arnold Murray School of Dancing, you see. Much smaller business so we can be cheaper. You understand?
Yes, yes.
Now, you've come for your first lesson, right?
Yes. Am I early?
No, you're fine. Now, we usually start with the waltz, you see, because we find that people pick that up fairly easily. Could I just have your coat, please? Thank you. I'll look after that for you. There we are. Thank you. That's fine. That's lovely. Now,
Silvia, are you going to teach me?
oh, yes, I'm actually Arnold Murray, you see.
Oh.
Yes, now, I'd like you to put that on because I'm going to be the one that's leading, all right?
Oh, yes.
I want you to hold your hand up there.
Yes.
That's it. And forward side together, forward side together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Forward side together, forward side together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Forward side together. Oh, thank you, Miss Higgin. Bottom, thank you. Do you mind if I check the letters? I won't be a moment, because you never know.
Yes, no, you do. Excuse me, does she work here?
Yes, occasionally. She's my assistant.
Couldn't I dance with her?
No, I'm afraid not. It's impossible. She's one of the untouchables.
Oh, I didn't know Negro girls were untouchable.
Oh, this one is, and believe me, I've tried. Now, you were a little tense there. I want you to relax a little. Now, come along. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, you're so good to me. 1, 2, 3, 1. Oh, you're so good to me.
I feel a bit silly.
Yes, well, that's because you look silly. Don't worry about it. You'll soon get used to it. I should have thought a chap like you would have got used to it already, really. Listen, have you ever thought of bodybuilding?
Why?
Well, I could swap over your dance lesson fee. You see, I could swap it over to the Arnold Murray Beef Building Fitness Club. You've already paid your £3, haven't
Oh,
you?
yes, I sent the postal
Well,
order.
then, what do you think about it? I've got all the equipment.
Well, doesn't your assistant teach that? I mean, she looks as though she's got all the equipment.
Higginbotham.
Oh, yes, Higginbotham.
No, don't worry. I'm fully qualified. Yes, I took a correspondence course in weightlifting. Yes, I hold the Golden Truss. I'll soon have you in shape.
Well, to be absolutely honest, I'd sooner be my shape than your shape.
You should have seen me before. You know, I was once as tall as you.
Really? When was that?
When I was 11. Why don't you try this completely free? Just lie down there, do a few press-ups. No obligation at all. That's it. Keep a nice straight back. That's it. Was that you? Oh, no. What is it, Miss Higgintot?
Miss Brownlow is here to see you, sir.
Oh, Miss Brownlow. Thank you, Miss Brownlow. You won't be a minute. Come here, Miss Brownlow. Oh, hello. Would you just pop behind the screen and take your clothes off? Thank you very much. That's it. Oh, no, no. Hello, Arnold Murray School of... Sorry. Arnold Murray School of Art. Arnold Murray Worldwide Book of the Month Club. Oh, yes, madam, yes. Well, there are actually 2 publications concerned with the cultivation of crops, yes. One's mainly for gardeners, that's the Weeder's Digest. And the other one is really only for farmers. Oh, that's the one you meant, is it? Yes, the Breeder's Digest. Yes. No, I'm afraid there's no pictures, no. Your husband wants to make sure he gets his what? Oh, his oats. Oats? Only every 3 years. You see, you must rotate. Yes, well, I'll send the book on. If you're not perfectly delighted in 14 days, we retain the money. All right, goodbye. Are you all right down there?
Well, I'd sooner be doing the walk.
Yes, I won't just a second.
Oh.
Hello. What is it, Miss Hotbottom?
Mr. Jason is here.
Oh, Mr. Jason's here. Just a minute. Are you all right? Oh, yes, come out, Miss Brownlow. That's it. Now, just sit there, would you? That's the idea. Now, then, how long have you had this eye trouble?
Oh, about 3 months.
I'd like you just to read what you can on this card, would you? There. Starting with the big A, going on to the X and the O.
Am I too early?
No, not at all. What is it today?
Life class.
Life class, of course it is. How are you getting on?
Well, I can't see from here.
Well, get a bit nearer, dear. Don't want to strain your eyes. Come on over here. Now, you would help me if you just put one arm up like that, would you? And one arm there. That's it. And put your foot up there. That's it. How's that, Mr. Jason?
Perfect.
Oh, good.
Are you the vet?
Yes, I'm the vet, madam, yes.
I rang earlier. There's something the matter with my pom.
Oh, dear. Step behind the screen. I'll have a look at it for you.
It's my dog.
Oh.
My Pomeranian.
Yes.
Shall I bring him in?
Yes, do bring him in, would you?
Oh. Dr. Murray?
Yes. Step behind the screen. Take your clothes off. I'll be with you in a moment, my dear.
Excuse me, I'm going to have to go because I've got to get back. My wife's got a cake in the oven.
Oh, congratulations. What are you hoping for?
Well, we're hoping for a sultana sponge. That's what went in.
Oh, nice.
Do we just get in the hang of
just
1, 2, 3?
Miss Brown, I wonder if you could come over and just partner this gentleman for me. That's it.
Is this lady qualified?
Well, she certainly looks it to me, yes.
What about me?
Oh, you, yes. Are you ready, madam? Could you... Yes. Now, what can I do for you, dear?
It's about the job as cleaning lady.
Oh, yes. Yes, would you just come over here and hold your handbag up there, my dear, up there. Put your arm up there. Put your foot up there, dear, would you? There we are. How's that, Mr... I think you better have a bigger pad. There you are. Morning. Oh, hello, Mr. Jones. How's Lady Jones? Go and sit over there, would you?
Right.
Sit over by the chair. That's it. Now, I'll get you some music, you ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yes.
That's it. Here we go. There.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, isn't it lovely? Thank you very much. Just go and sit over with Mr. Jones there, would you? What do you like with animals, dear?
Oh, very good, sir. I love them.
Hold this one, would you?
Fancy this dance?
Why not?
Right.
Oh, excuse me. Hello. Murray Funeral Service? Yes? Sorry, could you speak up a bit? There's a hell of... Yes, this is the Chapel of Rest, yes? I'm sorry, no, he's no longer with us, I'm afraid. No, he died. Goodbye.
This lady's completely inexperienced.
They all say that.
No, as a dance teacher.
Oh, I see.
Now, look, I paid my money. I feel I ought to be getting something for it.
Certainly should.
I don't care what it is. I paid my money and I demand something for
Right, how long have you got,
it.
madam?
About 10 minutes.
All right, just sit down there, would you? Hello, Miss Hotbottom. Could you come in and give Mr. Dribble the full treatment, please? There we are. So now, how do you like your hair?
Short back inside with a little blow dry.
That's it.
Good evening. May I say at once, without further ado, how nice it is to speak to each and every one of you. No matter where you all may be, on land or sea or foam, whether climbing up Mount Everest or kicking about at home, I broadcast you all tonight on BBC TV to tell you of the creation of a brand new ministry. Here, just a mo, I hear you cry. Now, what's all this about? A minister of poetry? Good God, who let him out? It's Margaret Thatcher's brainchild, this, our venerable Prime Missus. I'll tell you, if you'll all pin back your oral orifices. Last Friday week, I left the House of Commons just on 8. The wife was out at bingo, so I knew that she'd be late. I popped into the local. I was feeling rather frail, and there stood Maggie Thatcher, with her foot upon the rail. What are you having, Jack? She cried, her beady eyes aflame. I'll have a pint of mild, I said. She said, I'll have the same. Well, 17 pints later, God, how that girl can booze. We sat on the embankment, and she came out with the news. For many years, she mumbled as she munched the crisps I'd bought her, kindly folding up the bag and chucking it in the water. For many years, I've longed to see this ancient land of ours return to former glories and the pubs to longer hours. Those grand old days of Shakespeare, when the folks all spoke in rhyme, and the language wasn't full of swear words all the bleeding time. How nice it must have been to hear a lilting line that lingers when the worker to the foreman gave 2 verses, not 2 fingers. If we could recreate the old world charm of this great nation, the voters would forget the shrinking pound, ignore inflation, and you're the man, dear Jack, she said, who can that promise keep. Romance is not yet dead. With that, she burped and fell asleep. I covered her with newspaper and left her on the grass, looking every inch a lady and completely upper class, in a powder blue ensemble with her hair all freshly done, and across her chest, another chest from page 3 of the Sun. And that is how the ministry was created overnight. And now it's up to you, my friends, to see you do it right. Pray, have no fear. The task is not as hard as it might sound. For inside every Englishman, good English rhymes abound. And each of you has at some time, I'm sure, as have we all, inscribed a simple stanza on some bygone washhouse wall. So off you go, and don't forget, just like the old graffiti, keep it short and keep it snappy, keep it fruity, keep it meaty. Just think of all the joys you'll cause when on a bus you leap at dawn one chilly morning when the world's still half asleep. A single fare to Euston Square. You'll warble to the driver, the cost to me is 20p, and offer him a fiver. As he looks for £4.80 change, what gay thoughts fill his head? With any luck, he'll hand you out a 40 one instead. The world can be a better place if each man does his best to choose his rhymes to match the times. So get it off your chest. Beneath the old stiff upper lip, the ancient fire still flickers. Come, fan the flames, and let us get the lead out of our knickers. Press onward, England, do your best. Revive our former glories. Let's raise our beers and give 3 cheers. Good night, not the Tories.
My daughter says I got to buy the missus one of the braziers for Christmas.
Oh, is she making 2 puddings this year, then?
No, to wear. Only trouble is I don't know what size she is. How am I going to describe her to the sales girl?
Well, you'll just have to say she's like some everyday object, and she'll know.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. But what shall I say?
Well, is she a melon?
Oh, she's not a melon.
A grapefruit?
No.
An orange?
No.
Or is she like an egg?
Oh, yeah, that's it, yeah. An egg. Fried.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Effie Brooks.
I will lay around sometimes and show some sadness for people whom I've known that now are gone. And I will smile to show you when I'm happy and let you know when things are going wrong. I will try my best to be there when you need me and give you strength when you need someone strong. And I'll sit and cry with you if need be, and I'll paint your pretty picture with a song. I will paint your pretty picture with a song. I will paint your pretty picture with a song. I'll tell you tales of life as I see it, and I'll paint your pretty picture with a song. As I see it, and I'll paint your pretty picture with a song. I will paint your pretty picture with a song. I will paint your pretty picture with a song. I'll tell you tales of life as I see it, and I'll paint your pretty picture, paint your pretty picture, paint your pretty picture with a song.
The dateline is 2012. England is in the grip of a new and terrifying regime. The country is being run by women. Their secret police are everywhere. Men, downtrodden and subjugated, are forced to wear dresses and to have only feminine lives. such miserable individuals are Cartwright and Chalmers, known to their friends as Janet and Betty. Janet's illegal showing of male chauvinist films to the men's sewing circle has been discovered by a secret police spy. And in a scuffle, Betty accidentally shoots her. And our heroes are left with the grisly task of concealing the body. When Betty arrived home that night, his wife Brian was already in bed.
How's the sewing circle tonight, darling?
What? Oh, fine. Usual sort of thing, you know. Everybody's sewing things.
How's yours coming along?
What?
The thing you're sewing.
Oh, fine. I've nearly finished it, actually. It's, I've just got to embroider around the neck, you know.
What, you're making a pair of French knickers?
Yes, I am, yes. But they're reversible. You see, you can put your arms through the leg holes and wear them as a bolero.
Or upside down as French knickers?
Yes.
Bit drafty.
Oh, I wonder.
No, French knickers.
Oh, drafty, yes. Round the neck, yes, they would be, yes.
Very sexy, though.
Yes, yes, don't do that, Brian, not tonight. I've got a bit of a headache, actually. Hello? Oh, hello, Janet. Yeah. No, Brian's gone. No, I got into a big row this morning. I forgot to do her packed lunch. Where are you phoning from?
I'm in the commander's office. So I'm risking my neck, old chap. Listen, it's about the films. We must bury them. In the garden. Oh, your garden? Well, I've only got a window box, and that's full of my radishes. Hardly worth demolishing them to make room for Gone with the Wind. I know it's apt, that's not the problem. I've got 37 films to get rid of before I'm caught red-handed, and some unfinished business in the auction rooms.
Gone, Mr. Thompson. Next, lot 324, Victorian oak wardrobe with fitted drawer.
This one, ma'am.
Well, look, I'll bring the films round to the car this afternoon. I'm on early shift. What about 2:30? Oh, and there's one other thing. Ooh.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Dusting the desk.
Sitting down?
Dusting the chair. It's a new directive from the efficiency department. Very good for the figure as well.
That will do. I can use that method to dust my own chair just as efficiently, thank you.
More so. You've got better equipment. Well, I'll be off then, ma'am.
Just a minute. Name?
Julie.
Where is your identity badge?
In the wash, by mistake, on my other penny.
Don't you know it's a punishable offence not to wear it? Name?
Julie. Julie Andrews.
Sounds familiar.
Well, it probably is. My great-grandmother was very, very famous in show business.
Really?
Yes. Eamon Andrews.
You will report to this office at 9 o'clock on Monday when you will be disciplined.
Yes, ma'am.
It won't take long, but I can assure you that you will not use that particular method of dusting again for quite a long time. Get out.
You all right, then?
I've just split my knickers.
Pass me some more cans of film, then. What one's this, then?
Robin Hood.
Oh, Errol Flynn. He's a real man's man.
Yeah. Bit of a ladies' man, too, I understand.
Everybody's man, really. I'd like to have seen him do the Three Musketeers.
Yeah. He played all the parts himself.
Come on, then, otherwise your wife will be home.
All right.
That's a big hole.
Thanks, you definitely. I thought you meant splitting my knickers.
Are you digging out for the wife?
No, I'm planting rhubarb.
Rhubarb? That far down?
Oh, yes, it's marvellous. You see, by the time it's grown up, you've got sticks 6 feet long. I saw on television, Penelope Thrower.
Ooh, listen, the butcher's got some lovely filleting. Thought you could surprise the wife tonight.
Oh, yes, thanks very much, Daphne, old chap, but I don't really feel in the mood for fun and games at the moment.
Ah, OK. Just thought I'd mention it. Cheerio.
Cheerio, old sport.
Has he gone, then?
Yes. Come on, let's get cracking.
Hello, cheeky. I thought I knew that face.
Don't be so rude, you saucy monkey. Give me 2 pints and a flavoured yoghurt. You're very late.
It's Friday. I'm collecting the money. Anyway, I left you till last day. I thought I'd get a cup of tea and my legs up.
You'll get a slap round the face if you don't behave yourself. Now, go on off with you. I'll pay you Monday. Go on.
Oh, well, no, I've been trying. That's all, sunshine.
Dear. I thought you said you enjoyed complete privacy in this garden. If I'd known, I'd have laid on some tea and cakes.
I know. It's incredible, isn't it? Who'll be next, I wonder?
Of course, you realise I'm going to have to report you, don't you, Betty?
Report me? To the state police? You can't.
I must. It's my duty as a woman. I shall go on Monday.
But, Brian, I'm your husband, Betty. 13 years we've been married. Doesn't that mean anything to you? I mean, look at us on the wall there. 13 years.
I'm lucky for some.
That's a great help, isn't it? I suppose you realise what they'll do to me.
I know what I'd like to do to you. You disgust me. Those disgraceful films. You deserve all you get.
Well, in that case, why wait till Monday? Why not pick up the phone now?
Simply because I need to have the use of you one more time.
The use of me?
I need a partner tomorrow night.
Oh, of course, I'd forgotten. The annual staff dance.
Old boy.
Sit down. All right, what's up? My wife is going to report us to the secret police. What? We've got to get out, go into hiding. But before we do, we must get hold of our identity files so they won't know who they're looking for. All photographs will have to be destroyed. Look out.
Hello, Betty. May I have this dance?
Not at the moment, thanks, Cyril. My girdle's killing me. Breathing, big nuisance.
Oh, how about you, Janet?
No, I'm afraid mine's being a small nuisance.
Come round to my place and I'll fix it for you.
Silly old crumpet. How's your wife going to report us? I'll tell you later. There's no time now. But the point is, those identity papers. Now, you work at the place. You've got a pass. You'll have to smuggle me in. Are you game? Is there no other way? No. I know it sounds crazy trying to break into the Tower of London. For God's sake! Don't let anybody hear you call it by its old name. That's treason. Whatever you call it, it's going to be blasted difficult to get in there. Just not really safe. All right. Have it your own way, old boy. All right, then. We're going to break into Barbara Castle.
Will Janet and Betty succeed in their desperate plan, or will the commander thwart it? Will she herself be thwarted? To find out who thwarts what and to whom, tune in next week to another eccentric episode of The Worm That Turned.
Evening, Mr. Parson.
Evening, Dolly. Well, how's the beer? Flat as usual.
Now, watch it, Mr. Parson. You'll have to mind your language in here from now on. Look here.
What's a swear box? That's a good idea. Is it for charity?
The church fund. 5p a time.
Oh, you'll make a fortune out of me.
Oh, you're right there. You owe me 20p already.
20p?
25 now.
Oh, all right. You got change for a quid?
You won't need much change if you carry on like this.
Oh, that's true. Too right, I will.
Evening, all. Evening, Joe.
Hello, Gilbert.
Oh, bit nippy over there. Going for a fall of snow. That's all we
I need 20p from you, Mr. Robbins.
Yeah, got a swear box in here now. Don't worry. Have these on me.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, for the church. 5p a time, see?
Quite right, too. By the time this lot did something from the church.
Yeah, dozy lot.
That one will cost you 10p.
10p? You never told me that.
You never asked me. It's 5p for and 10p for...
Never mind all this bitch. I'm standing here like a... I'm going to have a pint... What am I going to have for drink? I'm going to have a pint of Vesperia, Dolly, I think. What are you going to have, Joe?
I think I'll have £5 worth of silver, please, Dolly. And I'm going to take this swear box. I'm going to sit over here. We'll have a decent, civilised conversation. Well, how's your love life then, Gilbert?
Non-existent, mate. How's yours?
Oh, not too grand. I had an argument with a wife last Friday night about going to the dogs. I said I was going anyway. Oh, she hit me round the head with a saucepan. Oh, dear. Is that it?
What did you do then?
What did I do? I hit her back. Dozy old...
That one will cost you £1.
Pound? It's getting a bit expensive in here.
She's making a out of you.
Good evening, Dolly.
Hello, Vicar.
Good evening, gentlemen. A double lemonade and water, please.
I say, the swear box looks mighty full.
Yeah, and Dolly tells us all going to the church. Yeah, that's a nice surprise for you, eh, Vicar?
Surprise? I'm the who thought of it.
Oi, give us a checkbook, you spotty-faced four-eyed git.
Beg your pardon, sir?
I said give us a checkbook, you spotty-faced four-eyed git.
Excuse me a moment, sir.
Some trouble?
Yes, this man said, give me a checkbook, you spotty-faced four-eyed git.
So how much money have you got in your account?
140,000 quid, mate.
You don't just stand there, you spotty-faced four-eyed git. Give me a checkbook. Thank you very much. And welcome to Ronnie Corbett Trots Out Another Old Joke. Not the most scintillating of introductions, is it? But my original name for this spot was going to be Ronnie Corbett Entertains. They said that sounded more like a headline on News at 10. And I've probably done under the Trade Descriptions Act, which is the sort of publicity I can ill afford. Once again, I'm not, to be honest, exactly the flavour of the month here at the BBC. Thursday morning, I got an official summons up to the Director General's office, the DG Leisure Centre, as it's known today. He gets all the lavish treatment I can get. He's got this sumptuous set of offices on the first floor. Used to be on the second floor. Then they moved it so he wouldn't have so far to reach for the lift button. To be honest, I always get nervous going into swish offices, you know, because with my height, if I stand on thick carpet, you know, I get a nosebleed. I did rather block my copybook on this occasion. I somewhat thoughtlessly barged straight in, only to find he was sitting there having lunch with the Prime Minister. Bit embarrassing. There she was, you know, just tucking into a bowl of tripe. I said, I knew you'd eat your words sooner or later. I don't know why I said that, to get a cheap laugh, I suppose. No, not unnaturally, things got off to a bit of a shaky start. Now, after she'd left, the DG beckoned me... The DG beckoned me back in. He said, sit yourself down, Cornet. Sit yourself down, he said. Anywhere on the floor will be fine, he said. Then he sat there, puffing away at his cigar for several minutes, till he finally got the wrapper off. I think he's a bit out of condition myself. He leant back in this power-assisted swivel chair. He said, the fact of the matter is, he said, Cornet, he said, these quips you keep coming out with, I've been getting complaints. That one you did last week, for instance, Barbara Woodhouse, can't be with us tonight because she's gone down with distemper. Frankly, he said, it's all a bit feeble, Cornet. He said, now, either you buck your ideas up or you'll go straight back to where you came from. As a roadie for the Tetley Tea folk. So to make sure I'm in the clear this week, I've decided to let the audience here, in the studio, choose the joke. Now, they're all worrying now. They're thinking, what have we got to do? Can I be fairer than that? Now, any subject you like, I will tell a joke about. Just shout out the second thing that comes into your head. It's a family show. It's entirely up. What would you like me to tell a joke about? Two brothers who inherit two horses, did I hear somebody say? So much for democracy. Now, if the Director General is watching, I know what he's thinking. He's thinking he told him to say that before he came on. The devious little liar. Because he's like that, I'm afraid, you know. A good judge of character. So here goes. These two brothers inherit these two horses. I think we've just about established that. We've set the plot, haven't we? These two brothers inherit two horses. That's 6 bloody horses they've inherited. One of them says, right, he said, we've got these 2 horses. He wasn't all that bright, this particular one. Right, so we've got these 2 horses. I say we split them down the middle. Metaphorically speaking, that is, because we're not in the hamburger game. And the other brother says, yeah, he said, we'll divide them equally between us. He was a damn sight thicker than his brother. We divided 2 horses equally. So that means you'll have 1 and I'll have and half the other one. Sounds like a meeting at the Treasury, doesn't it? So, having taken each horse, they're faced with the problem of how to recognise which one's which, you see. One of them has a bright idea. He says, I know. He says, I know. I wasn't bright there for the moment. He said, I know. He said, I'll dock my horse's tail, then we'll know which one's yours, which one's mine. So they do this, and the following morning they find that some practical joker has gone and docked the other horse's tail as well. So now both horses have got docked tails. Then they have another idea. 2 in 1 week. Bit of a record. Anyway, one of the brothers nicks a little bit out of the horse's ear. Brilliant, says the brother. Now we definitely know which one's which. Of course, the next morning some prankster's been at work again and nicked the other horse's ear as well. So the two brothers have to think about it. Then one of them solves it. He says, I know, he says. He says, I got it, he says. You have the black one, I'll have the white one.
Sarah, Miss Bush, tell me very well. What seems to be the trouble?
Oh, Doctor, I'm not ill.
But Lady Frampton phoned me and said, come at once, Sarah's not well.
Oh, I'm all right. But she owes me 6 weeks' wages, and I'm not getting out of bed till she pays me.
She hasn't paid me for the last 8 visits I've made to her. Move over.
Took a drink with a very nice man. Woke up here on a lumpy divan. In the Sultan's harem. Left portside in a fabulous car. Stopped for tea in a penny bazaar. Woke up here in the C&A bra. With the Sultan's harem. Rosy paths and ruby gates. Travelled east on winter rates. Started off to see the palm trees. Ended up as 2 stone dates. Left our boyfriends Tom and Dick. Back at home in Hampton Wick. Dick is in the territorials. Tommy's in the local Nick. I've got jewels and a gem that's rare. I've got diamante in my hair. I've got tassels on my derriere. And I've got a garnet, but I won't say where. I wear taffeta and I wear gauze. I look glamorous in pink +4s. In the desert when the night wind gnaws, you can't beat flannel for your winter drawers. I'm the skin as smooth as silk. I get bathed in ass's milk. My complexion's pink and pale. I get soaked in Watney's ale. Mine's a perfume made from musk, fragrant as the scented dust. Mine's a blend of gentle rains, jasmine, nutmeg, gin and drain. We went east in a Rover sedan. We went west in the back of a van. Now we're stuck with a Rodney Great fan in the Sultan's harem. They're doing tents and dusky gents, and many on the sofa pray to their wishes. I'm flaunting my charms beneath the palms that fluttery eyes like Lily and Gish. Turkish delights on Friday nights, I'm done up in taffeta looking delicious. Well, that was my fantasy till I began to see all I was getting was washing the dishes. I'm stuck in the sink in silky pink, I'm smothered in suds, as stony as the rubber. I'm scrubbing the floors, I do the chores, there's never a pause. I'm ready to blubber, there's never a chance of wild romance. They pay me in washers and call me a scrubber. Sultan Sultana, a bit of banana, and no great dusky gents in very romantic faraway places, flaunting me charms beneath the palms, sail or return or similar bases. Turkish delights on Friday nights, me and me see-through, him in his braces. Ever so perky, but turkey's a turkey, it's no great chance. Capital's nice and tall, he's a eunuch. He's a eunuch. He's lofty, you'll agree, for he's over 6'3". But he's just a wee bit short for me. Came out east to spot a man, ended on an Ottoman with bunions on my bottom and the cold upon my chest. Putting on the classy airs, togs like Shirley Bassey wears. Underneath her brassy airs, we've got a woolly vest. See me do my belly dance like a lemon jelly dance. 7 points for elegance, 93 for pluck. Do your belly dance, you shimmy like an elephant. They call it a Pirelli dance, a spare tire run amok. Fails, our masterpiece, they rank it. I've got 7 veils, and I've an army blanket. Wrapped in turkey by a tree, for our loved ones sad and sick. How I miss my darling Tommy, and how I miss my Hampton Wick. Stuck inside the Sultan's halls, just a pair of indoor stalls. Rose of 47 summer, ruby of the 9 small pores. Funny place to hide your holiday money.
Well, that's about all we have time for tonight, but before we go, a few late items of news. J. Thimble Glut, the Middlesbrough man who doesn't smoke, drink or gamble and has never had a girlfriend, tried to celebrate his 40th birthday today but couldn't think how to.
Scientists at London Zoo have finally discovered why the 2 giant pandas have failed to mate. The parrot in the next cage works for Mrs. Whitehouse.
Engineers from the BBC have designed a revolutionary new video recorder. Whilst you're out, it tapes all the programmes you hate and then automatically plays them back while you're on holiday.
Dingle Preen, the First Division's stroppiest player, was nearly involved in an accident this afternoon when the dressing room caught fire and he refused to move back 10 yards.
And Albert Baggs, Fulham's leading supporter, began a new job as a chef today. To make him feel at home, he was relegated to the washing up.
In next week's programme, we'll be talking to a man who is in prison for something he didn't do. He didn't wear gloves.
But finally tonight, good news from Hunslet Cottage Hospital. The man who ate Brillo pads in mistake for shredded wheat is expected to scrape through.
So it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night. Good night.